Today, we're getting straight to it. We're breaking down a guide that's not really about complex medicine, it's about survival. It's a life-saving manual for strokes, designed to cut right through all the jargon and give you the simple facts that can save a life. All right, let's start with a number, 4 million. I mean, just let that sink in. That's not just a number on a page. We're talking about 4 million families every single year whose entire world gets turned upside down in a heartbeat. That's the scale of this crisis. And here's the kicker. Our source says most of these tragedies, they just don't have to happen. And this isn't some abstract idea. These are real stories pulled right from the source. He fell at 4 a.m. By dawn, he couldn't speak. Or she felt dizzy and never woke up. It's terrifying, right? These seemingly tiny things, a little fall, a brief dizzy spell, they can have these huge, permanent consequences. So you gotta ask, why? Why does this keep happening on such a massive scale? Well, the thing is, it's not because we don't have the medicine or the procedures. The real problem? It's a communication problem. It's a lack of simple, clear info when you need it most, and that confusion leads to delays that can be absolutely fatal. And here's the central idea from our source. All the stuff that could save your life, it's buried under all this complicated medical jargon. I mean, think about it. When a crisis is happening, you don't need a PhD in neurology, right? You need a simple, step-by-step plan. And that's exactly what this guide is all about. Okay, so here's something absolutely crucial. A stroke doesn't always just strike out of the blue. There's often a warning, a huge critical warning sign that, tragically, almost everyone ignores. The source has a really powerful name for it, the assassin's warning shot. You might know it by its medical name, a TIA, or a small stroke. So what is a TIA? Well, it looks and feels just like a major stroke. You get the sudden weakness, the slurred speech, maybe one side of the face droops. But then, poof, it's gone. The symptoms just disappear, sometimes in minutes. And that right there is what makes it so incredibly dangerous. Because when the symptoms vanish, what do? You think, phew, dodged a bullet. You think you're okay. But you're not okay. And our source uses this incredible analogy to hammer this point home. A TIA isn't a false alarm. It's a dress rehearsal. It's like an assassin puts a gun to your head and pulls the trigger. Click. The chamber is empty. You feel this wave of relief. But the warning has been given. He's coming back. And you can be damn sure that next time there's going to be a real bullet in that chamber. And this isn't just a scary story. Look at these numbers. This is the very real, very terrifying countdown that starts the second a TIA is over. Within just 48 hours, you have a 10% chance of a major, full-blown stroke. Wait a week, it's 30%. And within 3 months, it's a coin flip, a 50% chance. So you see, ignoring a TIA isn't taking a risk. It's practically inviting disaster to your front door. Okay, so the warning shot has been fired. The danger is crystal clear. So what do? What's your weapon in this fight? How can you possibly spot the real attack when it's happening so you can actually do something about it fast? Well, this is where the guide gives us something incredibly practical. A simple, powerful tool. It's a memory aid, right? Something designed so you can remember it even when you're panicking. And it lets you spot the signs of a stroke in, like, 10 seconds flat. All right, here it is. It's a 6-point checklist. Let's run through it. First, sudden. The symptoms just hit you out of nowhere. Next, crooked. You look in the mirror or at someone else and one side of their face is drooping. Then, weak. An arm or a leg just goes limp, you can't lift it. Dizzy. A sudden, overwhelming vertigo, can't keep your balance. Speech. Your words are coming out all slurred or you can't find the words at all. And finally, explode. This is a sudden, explosive headache like nothing you've ever felt before. And the key thing is this. If you see even one of these signs, you call for help. Immediately. No hesitation. Okay, so spotting the signs, that's step 1. But step 2 is just as important, knowing exactly what to do next. And that brings us to what the source calls the golden hour playbook. This is where every single second counts. When you make that emergency call, you can't waste time. You have to be incredibly clear and direct. The source literally gives you a script to follow. You say, sudden stroke. You list the symptoms you're seeing, crooked face, weak arm, can't speak, and then you say this key phrase, use the stroke green channel. That phrase is a trigger. It tells the dispatcher to set a special, fast-tracked protocol in motion, and it can save priceless minutes. Now, while you're waiting for the ambulance, what you do or don't do can make a huge difference. Let's talk about the do's. First, lay the person flat and turn their head to one side. This is to stop them from choking. Super important. Then, look at the clock. Note the exact time the symptoms started. The doctors will need this. And finally, grab their ID, insurance, a list of medications. Now for the don'ts, and these are critical. Do not give them water, food, or any pills. Absolutely not. Don't let them get up and walk around, and for the love of everything, don't try to drive them to the hospital yourself. And the biggest don't of all, don't wait and see. There's a reason for all this urgency. You've probably heard the phrase, time is brain. Well, it's literally true. For every single minute you delay, millions of brain cells are dying. Millions. They don't grow back. So the difference between a full recovery, walking out of that hospital, and a devastating permanent disability, that difference is measured in minutes. But what if we could avoid all of this? What if you never even had to use the Golden Hour playbook? Well, that's what the last part of this guide is all about. It's about playing the long game. It's about prevention. And the great news is, it's a lot more in your control than you might think. So check this out. Did you know the most dangerous time for a stroke is early in the morning, like between 4 and 8 a.m.? That's when your blood pressure naturally shoots up. So this guide proposes a super simple 3-step morning routine to fight back against that spike. Step 1. Before you even get up, while you're still lying in bed, drink about 200-300 milliliters of warm water. It helps get your system going. Step 2. Slowly sit up on the edge of the bed and just stay there for 1 full minute. Let your body adjust. Step 3. Stand up, but do it slowly, like you're in a slow-motion movie. That's it. And get this, the source claims that this one simple habit can slash your risk of a morning stroke by up to 70%. That's huge. And really, it all comes down to this. This is the final takeaway from the source. A stroke doesn't really care about luck. It only recognizes 3 things. 1. Whether you delay when you see the warning signs. 2. Whether you know how to rescue someone when it matters most. And 3. Whether you practice the habits to prevent it in the first place. Delay, rescue, or practice. When you think about it like that, you realize that so much of the power, it's really in our hands.